Most people spend years trying to understand other people. They ask questions, have conversations, build history, and collect explanations. They believe that if you give someone enough time, their true nature will eventually appear. That belief feels reasonable. It is also incorrect. Time does not reveal truth. Comfort hides it. When people are comfortable, behavior is curated, words are chosen, reactions are filtered, identity is managed. Under comfort, people behave the way they want to be seen, not the way they actually are. That is why so many betrayals feel sudden. Not because the person changed, but because you never saw the unfiltered version. Pressure removes that filter. Pressure compresses behavior. It eliminates optional responses. It strips away politeness that exists only when nothing is at stake. Under pressure, people stop performing and start defaulting. They do not choose their behavior. They reveal their structure. This video is not about creating pressure. It is about recognizing what pressure exposes. Pressure appears in everyday situations. Being questioned, being ignored, being delayed, being denied, being challenged socially, being put in a position where something important feels uncertain. In those moments, people leak information about their priorities, fears, and operating values. If you learn to observe pressure responses calmly, you can understand people faster than years of conversation ever could. Not through confrontation, not through manipulation, through perception. Pressure is the most honest environment humans ever enter. Most people judge others based on behavior shown in calm conditions. Politeness, patience, generosity, humor. These traits are often mistaken for character. But calm behavior is low-cost behavior. It requires no sacrifice. Anyone can be reasonable when nothing is threatened. This is why nice people often surprise you later. Normal conditions allow people to maintain an image. They can afford to be agreeable because agreement costs nothing. They can afford to be open-minded because they are not losing control. Calm environments produce what looks like clarity, but it is artificial clarity. Pressure removes that illusion. Under pressure, people stop asking, "What should I do?" and start acting on what feels safest right now. That shift is subtle but critical. It reveals the hierarchy of what they value most. Control, approval, dominance, security, truth, or avoidance. This is why you should never anchor your understanding of someone to how they behave when life is easy. Easy behavior is not identity. It is decoration. Pressure reveals defaults. Once you understand this, you stop being shocked by later behavior. You stop asking, how could they do that? The answer is simple. That version was always there. You just hadn't seen it yet. Not all pressure reveals the same information. There are 3 specific pressures that consistently expose intent. The first is time pressure. When people feel rushed, they reveal priorities. Watch what they protect when time is limited, what they drop, what they rush to secure. Time pressure shows what matters most when choice disappears. The second is social pressure. When image, respect, or status feels threatened, people reveal values. Some protect truth, some protect appearance, some protect dominance at any cost. Social pressure exposes whether someone values integrity or control. The third is scarcity pressure. When resources feel limited, attention, opportunity, approval, behavior changes quickly. Cooperation turns into competition. Generosity turns into calculation. Scarcity shows whether someone operates from abundance or fee. You don't need to manufacture these pressures. They exist naturally. Your job is not to trigger them, only to notice when they appear and observe behavior without emotional involvement. Most people look for what disappears under pressure. Politeness, patience, kindness. That's the wrong metric. What matters is what intensifies. Under pressure, certain traits amplify. Some people become controlling. Some become defensive. Some become evasive. Some become aggressive. Some withdraw completely. These reactions are not random. They are volume increases of existing tendencies. Pressure does not create behavior. It reveals magnitude. This is why apologies after the fact are unreliable. Explanations come after pressure. Behavior appears during it. If someone becomes manipulative under pressure and reflective afterward, the manipulation is the truth, the reflection is damage control. When you train yourself to observe amplification instead of disappearance, people become predictable in the most accurate way. Language changes under pressure before behavior does. People stop explaining situations and start defending identity. They shift from problem solving to self-protection. You'll hear phrases that are less about clarity and more about justification. Statements like, "That's not what I meant," "You're misunderstanding me," "Why are you making this a big deal?" Everyone does this. These are not neutral clarifications. They are shields. The moment someone's language shifts from understanding the situation to protecting themselves, intent has surfaced. pressure has done its job. This shift is subtle, but once you recognize it, it becomes impossible to ignore. Under pressure, emotional control weakens quietly, not explosively. People rarely snap. Instead, emotion leaks through small inconsistencies, slight changes in tone, faster speech, over-explaining, forced calm, sudden humor, unnecessary confidence. This is emotional leakage, the body revealing what the words are trying to hide. People with internal stability leak very little. They do not need to manage impressions under stress. Their identity is not under threat. Pressure does not destabilize them. People without stability leak constantly. They compensate, justify, dominate, or withdraw. Those reactions are not mistakes, they are exposure. People with internal power experience pressure differently. They do not rush to relieve it. They do not rush to be understood. They do not rush to restore comfort. They allow pressure to exist. People without power try to escape pressure immediately. They talk, dominate, explain, apologize, joke, or withdraw. Anything to reduce discomfort. The ability to remain composed inside unresolved tension is one of the clearest indicators of internal authority. It signals that outcomes do not control identity. This difference changes how people interact with you and how you read them. This video is not about judging people harshly. It is about removing confusion. When you learn to observe people under pressure, you stop arguing with explanations and stop negotiating with promises. You stop being surprised by contradictions between words and actions. You are not becoming colder, you are becoming accurate. Pressure is not cruelty, pressure is compression, and compression reveals structure. If you want to understand people clearly, not to dominate them, not to manipulate them, not to control them, learn to watch who they become when comfort disappears, because in those moments nothing is added, only truth remains. Welcome back to Psychology of People.